Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And tonight, don't forget, I'm having a discussion with King Cornelius, King of the Khoi, who lives in the Cape, and we're going to have a serious discussion about what's happened in the past with the Khoi, the original landowners of South Africa, and what's happening going forward. And land is obviously a critical part of our discussion, which brings me to this latest statement by Cyril Ramaphosa, who is clearly heating that boiling water, or it's getting very close to boiling the water, if I can put it that way. Let me tell you what it says. This is a press release from ANA News, and it says, "The President says our own people must run their business, and they must be empowered to do that. South Africans are tired of seeing businesses being run by a minority," President Cyril Ramaphosa said on Saturday. He said, "People are tired of having the business in our country being run by a minority. Our own people must run their business, and we will empower them to do that," Ramaphosa said during the launch of his Tuma Mina, Send Me campaign in Stanger, north of Durban, on Saturday. Government was working feverishly to ensure black citizens became serious business people. We want them to run businesses and employ others. We want radical economic empowerment and transformation to be the order of the day, he said after handing out title deeds in the Stanger area. Okay, look, I just want to address that very quickly. The only people who are being financially empowered under what's going on in South Africa are the ANC politicians, their families, their friends, and their cadres. All the rest is BS. None of the general black population is getting tiddly squat. They're getting nothing. This is a complete scam. He can put whatever fancy words he wants on top of it, which come from the NGOs who write his policy. Remember that. That's George Soros and the Open Society Foundation who's behind this. This is not it is the ANC doing it, but there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings, and that is, as I've mentioned to you before, a highly illegal operation operated by the NGOs. Let's continue. The ANC is now involved in a massive project to give our people's dignity back to them by giving title deeds and lands. We are committed to this irrevocably. Our people's dignity was rubbished by apartheid rule, said Ramaphosa. Now, you can see that apartheid just keeps on coming up again and again and again. It's like the old bashing stick, it's something you can get a club and hit with. Whenever something goes wrong, apartheid comes out, or Jan van Riebeeck, of course, depending on how serious this is for the ANC government. It's never their fault. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. Anyway, let's continue. Title deeds were part of an economic renewal process that would lead to empowerment, he said. Our people can empower themselves with assets, including land. We are going to give land to our people. We are just not going to talk about it. We have set up an interministerial committee to look at land renewal and reform. Now, I need to again explain here that there's a professor, Ruth Hall from PLAS, who's actually organizing all the policy related to this particular area. PLAS is an organization based in Cape Town, and guess what? Most of her funding comes from an organization called Open Society Foundation, something like 4 million rand per year that she gets from George Soros to fund her developing a land policy for the ANC government. This is not elected officials. These are ring-ins who are coming from NGOs. The Open Society Foundation, just so you're aware, has completely pushed itself into the advisory role for the ANC government in ministerial departments. Thabo Mbeki, way back then, had several ex-Open Society Foundation senior staff working in his staff in Pretoria, developing policy way back then. We're talking about over 10 years ago, well over 10 years ago. This is how long the NGOs have been working in the background, screwing up everybody's lives in South Africa, which is a deliberate policy because they want South Africa weak, so that their masters, the deep state, can just take over. Let's continue. Addressing increases in VAT and fuel, Ramaphosa reiterated that he had called on retailers and producers to hold back on price increases to ease the burden on the population. Ministers would meet retailers to discuss a packet of measures that could alleviate the burden on consumers. Guess what? There's no burden on anyone well placed in the ANC. They're all closet millionaires. They've all got these little shelf companies which are doing huge amount of business by acting as the intermediary between a state-owned enterprise or a government department and the actual supplier. So nothing goes direct supply to the government department. It goes through the shelf company who puts on a huge markup, and then it goes to the government department. It's called enrichment, self-enrichment. It's called black privilege. That's what's happening in South Africa across the board. Yeah, across the board. All right, guys, don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, I'm going to be talking to King Cornelius, and one of the subjects we're going to be talking about is land and land ownership in South Africa. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe.